I'm going to talk about what might be the most important thing that you need to learn about business. And it has nothing to do with sales or lead generation or your target audience or defeating the dreaded feast and famine cycle or any other topic that so many people fixate and focus on. It's a topic that it took me a while to learn and something that I have to remind myself of constantly. This has been a recurring theme in big businesses that I have worked with, all the way down to solopreneurs, founders, and even freelancers that I work with. And here's the lesson. You are not alone. One of the things about business is it's an endeavor unlike any other. And only about 10% of people ever even really attempt to do it. Okay, in the population, less than 10% in America, for example, run and own their own business. And of that, say roughly 9%, most of them are not living in a way that looks anything like your ideal lifestyle. They're actually struggling and suffering and living what effectively looks like paycheck to paycheck all the time for their business. And what happens is they have a responsibility to their business to put on a good face. Okay, and people do this naturally anyway. Nobody wants other people to know what's really going on in the background. There's all kinds of shame and guilt and mistakes and transparency that it requires and trust in the other people that they'll understand. And when you just put that under a business lens, everything is magnified tenfold. It's all on you to figure out how to generate your own client work. It's all on you to figure out how to get it done. It's all on you to figure out how to make them happy and coming back to you. It's all on you to balance the work with the lead generation and the business operations and all of the things it takes to make a business run effectively over time. It's difficult. It's hard to do. And if you project to other people that you're struggling, that it's difficult, that you're having a hard time, you innately know and understand that you are projecting a form of weakness to other people. And that's something that we understand we don't want to do to the market because they'll think, okay, that person must not be very good if they're struggling. And that's sort of the mentality that we get stuck in, is we have to constantly put on a brave face. And look, I've seen this even among some of the larger VC funded firms and companies that I've worked with. The CEO has to put that good face on for not only their employees, but also for the clients and prospects and for their investors. And there's certain amounts of data that can show the reality of this one way or the other, but they will do whatever they have to do to twist the narrative that they're okay, that they're in a good spot. And the reality is most of them are not in a good spot. And most small business owners and solo business owners are not in an ideal spot. We are playing a game that over time has a 90% failure rate. So it is not easy to do this. And what this does is this creates a distortion field that messes with your head as a business owner. While everybody out there is actually suffering and struggling and having a difficult time with the exact same things you are, they're all putting on a brave face just like you are. And if nobody talks honestly about what's going on under the hood to each other, then everyone thinks that I'm the only one who's suffering from these things. I look around at all these other business owners and their social media posts and their marketing and networking events, and they all seem to have it together and everything seems to work great. So why is it that I'm struggling so hard? I must be doing something completely wrong. That creates a very lonely feeling. We're already less than 10% of the population, and even inside of the population of other business owners, we feel like we're 1 out of 1,000 people who's struggling because everyone on the outside seems to be doing just fine. And that's really the core point I need you to understand. They are not doing fine. Very few are doing fine. And I have gone through the ups and downs of my business and experienced everything that I'm describing to you, from being in complete and utter desperate need of any new work that came along from any client who would possibly give it to me, while I was maxed out on debt and living literally without paying myself on, the proverbial mac and cheese and peanut butter and jelly, right? I have been there. I know exactly what it feels like. And yes, I put on a brave face. And yes, I hid it from other people. And yes, I did my best to project that everything was just fine. And it was one of the worst mistakes that I ever made. And when I finally pulled myself out of that and was honest with other people, guess what? They opened up to me about how they were struggling too. They told me how they got out of some of their struggles. They said to me, well, if you're in that kind of need, I have work for you. I can help you. I have things that aren't a good fit for me. I can funnel over to you for now to get the cash flow going back again. We have to learn how to build a tribe around us of people who are honest and people who help and support each other. This is why I harp so often on getting a good mentor, on belonging to an ecosystem of people who will support you, because you can't feel alone. And I'm not just talking to you people who are working as solo operators, okay? Or even the small business operators with just a person or two. I'm telling you right now that the founder culture in general often feels alone because we are, again, a fraction of the population and we don't necessarily have time to pal around all day with other people. So we need to make sure that we pick the right tribe, the right group, the right ecosystem, the right coach or mentor, and make sure we dedicate routine time to hearing from them and to dumping our problems onto them and being honest with them, telling them what we face, because they will have answers. And not just answers, they'll have resources. They'll have connections. They have a network, okay? They can find opportunities for you. So the first thing you have got to understand is you are not alone. Everybody else is facing this or has faced this. The second is you have got to figure out what kind of tribe fits you best to support you. So for the size of your business, the type of your business, the place where you want to take your business, you need to look for coaches, mentors, ecosystems, programs that are built around what you actually want to do with your business, because there are different goals for different types of businesses. And then you need to routinely engage with them and be open and honest about what you're dealing with and what you need out of business so you can learn and grow together. That is absolutely critical. This is what every successful founder of every size of business has learned how to do. And again, it's like the worst kept secret because so few want to talk about this. So few want to name their mentors and leverage them and talk about how important they are. Because at the end of the day, they want to put on the face that they're the ones actually getting all of the work done for their company. And that's something that we have to be very careful of, because those mentors and those coaches make such a big difference. This is why even some of the biggest companies on the planet have advisory boards. Okay, that's their goal. That's their purpose, is to get the best information out of those people so that they don't have to start over and learn from scratch every single time. So those are some of the primary steps that you can take right now. And the one thing that I want you to remember about this, it is absolutely critical that you don't run yourself down to zero before you make this decision, because these people are generally not free. And they definitely require some sort of investment if they're really worth it. You can't build a tribe from free YouTube videos. You can't engage a tribe or a strong, powerful mentor for free by offering to take them for coffee. That's just not how this is going to work. And what will happen is you'll build up your reserves and you'll start buying other things that have nothing to do with your success in business. I can't tell you how many times I have watched people have a hot streak and they take their capital and they go out and buy a new car, a new truck, new equipment, new things they don't need, okay? They start buying more expensive meals. And then they ride that little roller coaster wave up to its high and then it starts to fall. And it takes them, again, I talk about this in the feast and famine cycle. They ride that wave until 3 months goes by and they don't realize that they're bleeding. And then next thing you know, they're trying to preserve every single dollar to pay for their groceries and think they don't have any money to spend anymore on somebody who can actually help them take the next step, the next level. They end up protecting $100 at a time when a mentor, coach, program, community, ecosystem can help them gain thousands and thousands at a time. And that's obviously a much better investment. So when I advise people from the beginning, I tell them that that's exactly what we're going to start with. That's exactly what we're going to build upon. You will have a mentor, a coach, a program, an ecosystem, something that puts a scaffold around everything that you do to guide you along every step of your journey. And if you're not willing to invest in that, if that's not something you're taking seriously enough, I would highly, highly recommend that you consider not starting a business, because we run the leanest operations on the planet. We don't need tens of millions of dollars of venture capital to start our businesses. What we do need is to set aside a couple $1,000s at least every single year to pay for our mentors and to get that critical guidance. And that is absolutely fundamental to your success in business. And I want you to make this as important as any sales or lead generation or marketing or content or any other type of business operation that you engage in, because it's that critical to your success. So go look for people who have done what you want to do. Look for people who have a track record and defensibility of teaching other people how to do that. And also people who you vibe with and that you just get along with and that you know will support you and that you can trust them to be there for you. If you can check those 3 boxes, you are going to be in a much better spot at every stage of your business.